Hey, grown black folks talk on another magnificent autumn day. It's sort of an electrum day. If you know about metals, you know that electrum is the combination, the alloy of both gold and silver. So because we have gold and sunshine and silvery clouds, the light is gold and silver. It is like the ultimate autumn day. And this video, if you've got the title, is Why I'm Glad to Be Standing Here Alone, single. The situation with Keke Palmer is heartbreaking, and I'm going to put the two videos that I found the most informative. Pam Esq, Attorney Pam, the Law Intellect, got the court documents that were presented in court that were presented, so Keke Palmer got a restraining order and also got sole custody of her son. And in those documents talked about the things that Darius Jackson has had to say on social media and his brother has had to say, and they are all vile. And then, of course, there's some other videos that I won't mention where black women are doing what they do, finding a way that Keke Palmer supposedly, allegedly manipulated herself into getting knocked over a sofa, having her keys thrown across a lot, and that it's all her fault, just like the black men talk about she's a baby Jada. No. But I didn't come here to argue with that. Because what I have done has been able to eliminate both men and women of that mind from my life. That's number one. But number two is something a little bit deeper that I want to get into so that as we move forward into 2024 and into all the successes that 2024 has for us, I want us to really get an understanding of this right here. There is a reason the Bible says not to be unequally yoked. There's a very good reason for that. Now, of course, I have noticed as I have been out and about experiencing both the transcendent joys and the unbelievable griefs. I have been an extremist at the extremes of both. And when you are out in public and you get overwhelmed by either one, that's scary. It can be. Because you're not fully able to regulate at those times. And I've noticed all the beautiful couples that are out enjoying these beautiful autumn days. And of course, I'm a natural, regular woman. I was treated well. I was raised by a magnificent father. I have magnificent grandfathers. I have magnificent uncles. I have magnificent friends. So with all that being the case, of course it would be natural. It would have been wonderful to have a husband to just say, "Hey, sweetheart." That's this beautiful dog walked up. You came just in time. Well, yes, that's not exactly but that was sort of the idea. Hey, sweetheart, I got us from the husband. I got you. It's all right. I know you've been through a lot, but we got this. I got you. I got us. That would have been wonderful. You know, I'm 5'3". These shoulders are never going to unspread. So make him at least 5'6", 5'7", and with broad shoulders. To be large enough, so if your man wants me to fit in the shadow, he actually has to be large enough for me to fit in the shadow. That's a different conversation. But to have that kind of security would have been wonderful. And on the days that the joy was transcended, that we could have played from the sunshine to the lakeside to the bedroom, that would have been lovely too, to share that experience with a husband. A man called by God to husband all that I actually do bring to the table. And that's the issue, though. See, if I had done what I wanted to do from the age of 22, at 22, I would have married a man who was using me as a beard. A churchman. Gay. If I had married after that, I've known some good men, but it just was not God's plan for my life. Frank, he took Frank. Sergeant Love, still the best man I've ever known, and just too old. But that says something about the culture that he's in, though. He was mature enough for me with that kind of an age gap in the culture he came from. And when I say the culture, I just don't mean black men, although I will come back to it. This is a culture in which men will kill you for jealousy. And that's been going on for a long time. Racism and sexism is just a form, an extension of male jealousy. White male jealousy of black men who are certainly equal to them in every human way, and also jealousy of women who are human also and certainly equal to them in every human way, and are able to progress and give to the world in impactful ways. That's just another form of that. I'm talking about an American culture that's eaten up with it. But inside that culture, I would have married to a culture where black men make excuses for essaying, abusing, and murking women darn near 6 times a day now. And the Lord said, no, because you don't know enough to be married in America at this point. You don't realize yet how men make excuses for wanting to have women only as their slaves. Stockton Rush, before he went down his expired carbon submersible and found out why you don't talk like this, has a quotation I just found out. And it goes like this. He says, sometimes you can get Mother Nature to work for you, and sometimes Mother Nature is a bitch. I'm like, okay, so you gendered all creation as either a slave or a bitch. You gendered all creation female and defined what you wanted female to do, slave or be a bitch. That's a white man, y'all. That man's parents, ancestors, were all founders of this country, and they were slave owners. One of his relatives, thinking that he could bend creation to his will, and yeah, as you see the ambulance coming along, there's a good reason for that, made a gun called the Peacemaker. But he made it out of wrought iron because he wanted it quick and he wanted to have a second one. The thing exploded and spread liquid molten iron across a whole crowd and killed 6 people. But that's what happens when you think everything that exists is supposed to bend to your will. Well, what men figure is that in this, acculturated in this way, figure is, I ought to at least be able to be entitled to a woman. So, when Keke Palmer's court documents come out, here's what she said. She said he love bombed me. He made me think I was the greatest woman in the world, and then he became cold and neglectful. And by this time, I'm pregnant with his child. So, you know, that old narcissistic pattern. And see, this is why black men in particular want to say that people like me are past it, are worthless, are post-wall, fat, and all that. Because that way, when one of their number wants to go find a slave, because here's the deal, white men had the force available to break people to their will. And they still do. Ask anybody who's in prison. Black men never had that advantage, so they have to try to break the mind. They have to try to break a woman based on what a woman fundamentally is. A woman fundamentally wants love in the way men want respect. So, convince the whole lot of them that they're not worth anything, and then when one of us wants to go get a slave, we love bomb, get the woman used to that, and then withdraw it so we maintain control. As you read through the documents, or you listen to Pam Esq read the documents, you're going to hear the classic narcissistic behavior that Darius Jackson allegedly is attributing. Now, I need to say allegedly because there has been a decision as far as a restraining order and custody. A judge has ruled on this, but there may be some assault charges and things coming up too. Because see, here's the other thing. What people don't understand is now that you got an assault charge, it's like Tory Lanez found out. They're in California. So what happens is the state of California waits till they have room and then they come get you. It doesn't matter what Keke Palmer does. All she had to do was go let the state of California know what's going on. There has been a judgment entered. California will come get him when they're ready. But see, because I'm single, I don't have to watch my back like that. I'm out here doing the work. I was putting on some of my exercise clothes. And I'm like, I'm down another full dress size. Because I got to pull and tie this pair of pants up almost underneath my bra line for them to not be too long. So I'm out here doing the work. I don't have a man looking at me like, well, I picked her when she was fat and insecure, and now that she's getting herself and her life together and seeing success, she may decide to go with someone else. No one's going to be sitting up there, well, do we think a mother should dress like that? That was Darius Jackson not that many months ago. I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to watch my back because I'm connected to a culture of men that gets mad when women prove that we're more than slaves to them. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. I don't have to be in the process. Let's say I met somebody in the last month. I don't have to be in the process of vetting to the extent, because no matter what color man you choose in the United States of America, you have to vet him all the way out. You got to have background checks. You got to see if he's had a divorce, what the circumstances were. You have to look at the court records. You got to find out if there's a court record, like Keke Palmer has now put up a court record on Darius Jackson. You got to find out what's out there. And if this man is not with a woman past a certain age, 42 is that age, you need to know why. Because this is what I want you to think about, okay? I need you to hear me. As women, and as black women in particular, we have to not only stop associating with men with nothing to lose. Let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson's brother is not what you would call an A-list. We'll be very generous and say B-list actor. Biggest role is on Insecure. And we know that on Insecure, he cheated with his co-worker and got her pregnant. So you have a cheating B-list actor. His brother got to go around the Hollywood rounds on, Darius got to go around the Hollywood rounds on his brother's coattails. So this is not someone that's anywhere near Keke Palmer's level of access. This is not someone who's anywhere near her level of talent. This is someone who is in the circle on a coattail. Men like that have nothing to lose. They can only go up by breaking a woman to their will. And if that woman then begins to get thinner and be able to attract another group of men and start comparing him, his fear is he's going to get thrown back. That's what always happens. But here's the thing. Let me take it a step further, because I can, as an Amazon bestseller. I can take this a little further now. I wasn't that 3 months ago. Wasn't planning on being that 3 months ago. I looked through the journal that Confidence with Love gave me as part of her course. Becoming a self-confident woman will help you with all this I'm talking about. One of the things she tells you, you matter and you are important. But let me just say this. Most of us listening have not yet discovered the extent of their talent. I haven't either. Because again, I didn't know I had a 5th book on that level in me. I didn't know that. Now I know. Now I got to conform my life to that responsibility. It's not enough for me to not pick up anybody who doesn't have anything to lose, but also to roll out here like someone who still has everything to gain. And if you are a Christian, you still have everything to gain, because eternity is in front of you. But let me break this down. And those of you who are not Christians, some of you actually believe that as well. I'm not going to quibble with it today. But as a Christian, for me, to live is Christ and to die is gain. That's actually said in Scripture. I have everything to gain. If I was confined to a bed and could do nothing but hear about what was going on and pray for y'all, knowing that God was going to make some stuff happen, that would still be a gain for me. It's not necessarily what I want at 42, but sometimes that's not up to you. Had I been in the wrong place on October 16th, that might have been my lot with that tree branch coming down. But you need to begin to operate like people who have everything to gain. So let me give you a good general example. I'm going to do a video about how that bestseller happened as best I can understand it, because I was out and about doing what I was doing one particular day, and Wednesday the 1st, and then by the 2nd it was there. But I can tell you what the steps were. Some of you already know. Get True Mystique to do your cover. Grand Shine LLC, Enterprises LLC. Get True Mystique to do your cover. Do that. That was helpful. But also having something that was for a general audience, that had a focus for the audience I already have, and the connections I already have, primarily black women with obviously some black men as well. And black men and black women of quality assisted me in getting concepts together for that book. So in terms of what the cover might be, I had a lot of good people giving me feedback on that. But the issue here is that I don't belong with a man who can't do that. See, Kevin Samuels wasn't wrong about everything. One of the things he said about the high value man is that he needs to have a network that he works with. That's correct. That's true. Because when you reach a certain point in what you're able to do in your life, you need to be with people who are, what did I say at the beginning? Equally yoked. You don't need to be with people who don't understand how to make things happen. At this point, You don't need people that are in circles on coattails. You need people. Let me put this to you another way. I'll use someone I really love, the Creole. I've talked about him before. Someone whom I really loved, who really loved me, but it wasn't going to work because he was looking for a moon to his son. And his son is very bright. He is a very talented, brilliant individual. But I could not have fit into his shadow. I need someone who can form a binary star system. So we'll take everything that's in orbit around me and everything that's in orbit around him, and we will then combine them to one orbit as much as possible and balance it. We're not competing lights. We blend light. So I know that. So there's no point. The Creole is a good man and a good husband. He found a woman that he needed. She also is a highly intelligent, brilliant woman. She's a wonderful mother, and she is the moon to his son. And they're happy. And I'm glad that they're happy. She's a wonderful person, too. I appreciate both of them for who they are. But that's what he needed. I'm not mad. Because why? Had I attempted to make that work, I would not be standing here doing what I'm doing today. I am glad to have had the opportunity to excel single so that I'm not having to deal with the fact that there's a man who cannot endure me being in my full light. I don't have to watch my back every single time that I make an advance. The Creole, that was a very interesting situation. I am 9 years younger than him. And it interests me that his present wife is 18 years younger than him. He figured 9 wasn't enough, given what happened. Take me out and find out I knew everybody there and was a star when he got there. I knew it was done when that happened. I knew that was done. He wasn't able to do that, and he was a good man. But that wasn't what he was looking for, and that's fine. Because even the good men in a weak culture sometimes are just not ready. Sergeant Love's age gap makes a big difference. And even a man like him, that age gap is too big. But that's what it takes in a culture where men have decided that they can't do anything against other men. And so the best that they can do is to try to get up on some woman's coattail and forever have a mother that they can dominate and have sex with. And then when that doesn't work out, they start knocking women over sofas. And see, this is the thing. When you listen to Pam Esq, the Law Intellect, for those of you who listen to Tricks with Triggers and Confidence with Love, I really listened to that and understood why she has us out here getting ready, because that was not her saying. Her mother and her sister were there. And see, if any one of those women could have called 9mm 380, you have a whole different situation. But what they did have going on was security cameras, so that Ms. Palmer got her restraining order and her sole custody, and the state of California can come back anytime it wants and grab that man. That's what is about to happen here. But see, here's the thing about 9mm 380 and why I'm making this particular video the way I am. When you have everything to gain, having to kill some fool puts a crimp in your life. I was listening to Erica De Niro TV not that long ago when she did her cover of What Happened to DJ Academics. I haven't covered that yet because I want to put a unique angle on it, but we're not there yet. Talking about she would love to have a movie where there was a squad of women that went and got vengeance on no good men. And that's great for fiction. But when you have to do that in real life, that puts a crimp on your lifestyle in ways that you cannot appreciate right now. Leaving, even in self-defense, because it depends on, again, I'm in California, it depends on whether there's some place there's a room in Tehachapi for you. The court can choose not to validate your self-defense. So it's very important for us to really begin vetting people, because like I said, I've had to leave black women alone too. I mean, I literally listened to a video today where the woman walked down the road about how Keke Palmer manipulated this and how she's going to get her comeback later. She's going to get her karma later for that. Ain't read nary legal document, ain't seen nary video, ain't seen a woman get knocked over the couch. But it's just gotta be Keke's father's fault that this happened. So you're not gonna get back up from some black women either. And then you have, like I said, this culture of men does this foolery. Because why? Because they want black women to be so depressed that when one of them wants to love bomb and start their slave breaking, then women are vulnerable to it. And I'm saying no. Not only do you not look for men that have nothing to lose, that are on the coattails of the coattails, stop doing that, but also be with people who also have everything to gain by working collaboratively. We have been talking for weeks, True Mystique and Confidence with Love, on separate interviews, and also on to Neil Jackson, Artists Promoting Success, all about working collaboratively. You have everything to gain with people who know how to do that. One of my black male friends has a book out that I edited that complements what I have. So I'm going to be putting Bundle up together. I'm not going to discriminate against him because he's a black man. This is a black man who said to me, he said, as far as I know, black women are the most powerful people on earth. He understands the assignment. He said, because y'all have kept us alive. My father said it, my pastor said it. This doesn't mean that intrinsically there is more human value in black women than black men. It's just an acknowledgement that it is what it is. This is not someone who's out to hurt me. I've known him for a long time. He's a good man. We have collaborated successfully for years. We will continue to collaborate successfully for years as long as we continue to have respect for one another. This is not something that I'm locking down to race. You need to eliminate everybody from your life that has nothing to lose and does not see everything to gain in treating you well. You need to eliminate everybody who does not have the ability to get things done in the world at the level that you do. It doesn't mean that they're bad people. It means that that person, especially if it's a man, is going to feel sunned. He's going to feel like he's not a man because he can't make things happen. I still got to respond to the wonderful video the Beneficial Black Man did. Yada Awakens attempting to encourage a young man to step up for his family. But if you don't do it, you're forever going to be hearing people's voices in your head. I'm not a man because I can't do this, and I can't. It was very revealing as a conversation. And when men go through that, they take it out on women. How do we know this? Read Genesis 3. When God called him up short on you trying to be me, the first thing Adam did was throw Eve under the bus. That's what men do. If they are not mature, spiritually, emotionally, intellectually. That's what they do. And black men have no problem murking black women when they get like this. Had Darius Jackson, allegedly, but like I said, it's been at least approved in a court, at least as far as getting a restraining order. At least there's a video about it, and stills and all the rest. Had he hit her a little bit harder, he could have broken her neck. And his brother is out there. This little, we're being very generous, B-list actor is out here risking his little B-list career. Big upping this. And let me also say this. I don't have to agree with Keke Palmer's lifestyle to understand that there's a line. For those of you women who see, well, you know, she kind of manipulated him. All she wanted was a child from him. That may well be. But no matter what you say to me, I am not God over you that I have a right to touch your life. Even Satan has to get permission to go to God to touch anybody's life. And Lucifer was the anointed cherub before he decided to get too big for his ethereal britches. So if the spirit beings who are greater than I cannot do that, I certainly can. There is a line. It does not matter what someone has to say to you. You do not have a right to touch their life. You did not create them. You do not have the right to destroy them. And as black women, we need to understand that our lives are precious. We too share an image of God. If you're not sure, go back. Male and female created he them. Be fruitful and multiply and subdue the earth was said to both. There is no second-class citizenship among human beings. How often do we have to keep fighting this fight? Huh? We've been fighting the same fights forever and a day. It's time to stop fighting and start dropping people off. Don't deal with black women either who do not understand the value of your life. Do not deal with black women who also have the mindset that we have nothing to lose, so we may as well go along with the men's foolery on this subject. Don't do it. It will cost you everything. You have to think of yourself as someone who has everything to gain in doing what you were put here to do. Because you also have everything to lose. Side note, this is for free. One of the reasons that certain interracial partnerships work is because certain men in this country know they have everything to lose. They already have everything because they have white male privilege. But if they get with the wrong person who has no intention but to live up on them and to do no work, who just wants to be a slave mistress, then that's not going to work for them. But if they can find someone who will work with them, who has everything to gain, together they have everything. This is the mindset difference in why certain interracial marriages can work. Black women, white men, because together they have a mindset for everything. Black women have had to hold down everything, so they know how to do that. White men have had to hold down everything because they wouldn't let anybody else get up there and hold it with them. So that is another reason why that happened. Neither of them culturally tend to come from the point of view that all they have is audacity and they have nothing to lose except sitting on someone else's coattail. Neither has been allowed the luxury. What Rudyard Kipling wrote more than 100 years ago about the white man's burden. Now you don't get to do that if you're over there. Because superior is as superior does. Now, this is not an argument for white male supremacy. It just has to sidelight on what the culture is. The culture is you have everything to lose. You've got it. Now you got to keep it. That's why a black woman who understands I have everything to gain and I have everything to offer, both of them together do not have to lose. And that's why those culturally work out. Now, there are black men who also understand that. Like I said, I have magnificent friends because they understand who they are. They've looked at their own history and seen what black men are capable of. And some of them have also looked at the scripture and realized that they're called to be co-stewards of the universe. They don't have to sit over here and extract it out of me. I don't have to be the image of Mother Nature and be either a slave or a bitch for it to work. They ain't got to be Stockton rushing to the bottom of the abyss. This is a question. Can y'all tell I'm a little bit frustrated with what's going on right now? This is a question of acculturation, not color. It's important that you know that. But we need to really focus on this. It's not good with a woman who wanted to be married is happy or single. It tells you that you're in times of present distress. Now, the Lord told me it would be this way because it's in 1 Corinthians 7. But this is not a good thing. That tells you that the culture of men that you have is not cutting it. I sit up here and think about this, and I'm like, for whom would I make an exception? What would he have to bring to the table? It's not a question of money. It's not a question of title. It's a question of where is this man's spirit? Could he see me excel and understand that this is something that is a blessing, and it is a blessing for him to be able to husband it, steward it, and make it even more for us and the world around us? Can he hold on through the tremendous losses and not see every time I have to take time to just make sure that I get healed as taking something away from him? Is he even self-sufficient enough to not need me sitting over here stroking his ego every single second of every single day? Where is this man's soul and spirit? And then there is a lifestyle to which I am accustomed, but you can probably tell. Is he a materialist? Because if he is, he's not going to impress me with that. I'm looking for, what is Level Up Single Mom said, more nourishing experiences. And because I don't have that on hand, and the Lord has not seen fit to grant me that at this particular moment, I'm very glad I've attained what I've attained while still excelling while single. Because I'm not trying to be bothered with the foolishness. I have everything to gain. Alone. Single. So, with everything to gain single throughout eternity, if that is the case, I need to be connected with this culture by marriage. I'm good on that. I'm good on that. Unless some man somewhere shows me that he has done the work to get beyond the foolery. And I mean, like, for real, for real. And y'all, I need you to think very seriously. I normally don't do a 30-minute video out here, but I need you to think very seriously about this, because it's time past to allow these men to be out here beating up and murking. You do not need a man that bad. You have everything to gain in walking in your calling just as you are. And if you're not saved and you feel the guilt and weight of your sins, the Lord Jesus Christ is sitting there waiting to relieve you of that. So you don't have to deal with that burden anymore. Of course, now, if you don't feel that burden, that's a whole different situation that you're going to have to work out with him. But in the meantime, under common grace, don't expect a man to do for you what you won't have God himself do. Be about your business. Mind your business and leave these men with nothing to lose, nothing to add, and no mind but to take everything from you alone. Okay. 31 minutes for an outdoor video. That's probably a record, but it had to be said. Y'all have a good day. And got some more to do maybe this evening. I'll get on to the response I wanted to make to the beneficial black man. We'll see what happens this weekend. All right. Y'all have a good day now. Goodbye.